Hey there, this is 2D, and we're about to jump into some Arena Cube Draft. So a quick explanation of what Cube is if you haven't seen Cube before. So instead of drafting from a Magic set, like instead of drafting from Theros, or instead of drafting from Ikoria, opening packs and passing stuff around, instead it's the same idea, except you build a custom set. So instead of having like one rare pack and a few uncommons and a bunch of commons, you can just fill the cube with whatever cards you want to. You can have every card in the cube be mythic, and so every pack you open up is 15 mythics if you wanted to. You know, that's not quite what this is, but the idea is all the cards are probably pretty good. So in a cube draft, you can build decks that are way stronger and way more synergistic than in a regular draft. Now, this will be my first time playing the Arena Cube, so I actually have pretty much no idea what cards are in this pack. So I'll be figuring this out and evaluating cards in real time, but let's just hop in. So this is like a normal draft. You do have 7 other players that you're passing cards around, each picking one card at a time. So let's see what we get here in pack 1. Okay, Embercleave, very good in a mono red deck if we wanted to go in that direction. Elspeth Conquers Death is just a very powerful card. We probably don't want to go into 2 colors. Ayaria is such a difficult mana cost that it's basically forcing us into a deck as well, in the same way a 2-color deck would. I think we probably... Golos is kind of tempting as a colorless creature, and it's just... I mean, if we get up to 7 mana, we can just pretty much win the game if our opponent can't remove it. So do we want... I think we either pick Golos or Elspeth Conquers Death. Elspeth Conquers Death is just such a powerful card. I think we take Elspeth Conquers Death. Yeah, we're going to take the Elspeth Conquers Death. It's just a removal spell, which is always good in Cube, but it's a removal spell that wins us the game. So you can't ask for much more than that. So, okay, Charming Prince is a favorite card of mine. I don't know if it's that strong. So Ardenvale Tactician would be good in an aggressive deck, but Elspeth Conquers Death is more of a mid-rangey, control-y sort of card. So I don't think we want to go with the Ardenvale Tactician. Cruel Celebrant, if we were in that specific deck, might be good. Storm's Wrath, I mean, if we are going into like some kind of control deck, we could... Having a Wrath of some kind might be nice. Yeah, okay. We'll take the Storm's Wrath. We'll start heading towards a more control-y deck with Elspeth Conquers Death as a finisher. So we would probably be in something like Jeskai. We want to take Fire Prophecy. I think we're still pretty open here, so we're gonna just take, I think, the best cards. And I mean, Jade Light Ranger is very good. Doesn't really go with anything else we've picked. Blue is looking kind of open. There's Siren Storm Tamer, Chart of Course, Brineborn Cutthroat, so some sort of tempo-y blue deck might be open. I think we take the strongest card, which is Jade Light Ranger. We're just going to pick the strongest cards for the first few picks and then decide where to go from there. Okay, Winota's kind of interesting. I don't know if we can actually build a good Winota deck in here. I'm guessing Agent of Treachery is somewhere in this pool, but there's not that many high converted mana cost humans. Stonecoil Serpent would be very... maybe we just take Stonecoil. That's just good in pretty much any deck. Questing Beast would also be interesting. We could go like in a green-white mid-range deck with this Jade Light Ranger, Elspeth Conquers Death, Questing Beast. Just sort of a bunch of green-white value. Kind of forget about the Storm's Wrath. Green does look pretty open too, but is Questing Beast that much better than Stonecoil Serpent in draft? I think we are going to take the Questing Beast. Yeah, let's go with Questing Beast. Let's see if we can head towards green-white, so some Selesnya action. Okay, Nimbus is very, very, very good, but we'd have to throw away everything except the Storm's Wrath for that, so I think we're not going to take the Nimbus. Plain-white Celebration is interesting. If we did go into like a green-white kind of ramp deck, Jade Light Ranger kind of fits there. Eliala's Contracts, okay. Okay, Mace of the Valiant would be good if we have some sort of token maker, which if we're in green-white, we probably can get some eventually. I think what we do here is just take the Sunpetal Grove? Just make our mana good. Divine Visitation, interesting. Mantle of the Wolf, so this is just a kind of good value card, but there's probably better things to do. Ooh, Captain Sisay. That's got to be pretty good. And also Knight of Autumn. Which do we want more? Knight of Autumn is kind of a Swiss Army knife, does a little bit of everything, but Captain Sisay, we can focus on picking up some more legends. If our opponent can't answer the Captain Sisay, she pretty much just wins the game. I think we take Sisay. We can already grab Questing Beast, and if we can pick up a few more legends, she's really, really good. Let's see. So maybe we're in like a green-white Legendary Matters kind of rampy mid-range deck. What do we want to take here? Our Boyo Grazer, I don't think we want to take. Just Fable Passage, maybe? Just give ourselves some good mana so we can splash anything we want to. I don't think anything is worth going into another color there. Omen of the Hunt, okay. That would go with sort of the ramp idea and also allow us to splash another color pretty easily. And nothing here is really super great. We could also just take this Temple Garden. Yeah, we're gonna just take the Temple Garden, because we know we're in green-white. So, okay, Season of Growth, perhaps. I don't know if there's that many combos with this in queue. I guess we pick it up, because what else are we picking here? There's nothing we really want to splash for. So I think we take the Season of Growth. We're not going to main deck it. Maybe we pick up enough stuff to make this work. It's definitely possible. So we are in a green-white mid-range deck, so we're just looking for some good value. We're just going to look to outvalue our opponents, look for some big bombs that we can tutor up with Captain Sisay. We don't want the Ardenvale Tactician. Maybe Escape the Wilds is actually pretty good. Yeah, we're going to take the Escape the Wilds. Splash red, so now we can splash this pretty easily with our Fable Passes. We can pick up another a red source somewhere along the way, and then that's really good in a value-y sort of deck. Being able to basically draw 5 cards and play an extra land means, yeah, we're in good shape if we get to that Escape the Wilds. So we maybe can, if we get good enough mana, we could bring in the Storm's Wrath. I mean, a Wrath is good kind of regardless. Guess we take the Pretty Breaker Lamia. I'm probably not going to play any of these, but we'll take the Lamia. Just not a bad card if we do end up in some sort of graveyardy deck, maybe. Yeah, if we end up with enough red sources, we could play the Storm's Wrath. Okay, Elvish Rejuvenator is probably what we'll take. Blackblade Reforge. I guess we do have this Legend Matters theme. I think we just take the Blackblade, or the Elvish Rejuvenator, though. Get us up to our 5 drops. Escape the Wilds and Elspeth Conquers Death are both really good, so definitely need some 2 drops and 1 drops. Hopefully some ramp. Or we can't play the... I guess... We can't play any of this. We'll just take the... We'll hate draft the Niv Mizzet. Hate drafting doesn't make a lot of sense, because it's not like we're going to actually play the people that we're drafting against. Most likely. I mean, there's some tiny percentage of a chance that we would play against the person who got this Niv Mizzet, but not a huge percent. Okay, wow, okay, Rootbound Craig. So we have got pretty good fixing here. I guess we'll take the Giant Growth. Probably not going to run that, but... Ooh, okay, Realm Cloak Giant's really nice. It is a Wrath attached to an actual good threat. Akroma's Memorial, holy crap. So I guess there's a lot of cards in here that were never in Standard, like Ranger of Eos. Okay, that's the white. So there is like an interesting white weenie deck in here. Pretty cool. Skittering Surveyor is actually pretty good with our plan. Again, it could make sure we just hit our land drops up to 4 and 5, which is pretty important in the deck we're putting together here. Do we just take the Akroma's Memorial? Man, that's good. And it is legendary, so we can tutor it up with Captain Sisay. We're going to need to get some ramp. I think we take this. I don't think we have enough threats at the moment to take Akroma's Memorial. Maybe that's wrong. Wow, okay, Teferi would be interesting. Just a very, very good card, and we could splash for it. Especially if we go down the red. Maybe this is just better than Escape to the Wilds. It's hard to beat. Basically a 3-mana Planeswalker that wins the game by itself. We could also take Carnage Tyrant. It's just a very difficult to deal with threat at the top of our curve. Maybe hope to wield this Beanstalk Giant. I think we take Teferi. Teferi's just too good. So let's go down the Escape to the Wilds now. Go down the Rootbound Craig. Maybe we'll have, maybe something will bring us back into red if we want to, but I think we're just going to go Bant. This is something we can tutor with Captain Sisay too, so, I guess we take Treasure Map. Treasure Map's not bad. We need it early in the game, so it is not the best card in the world either. What else we taking though? Like Back Ambusher. Not really great in the deck we're putting together right now. Could take Prison Realm just as a removal spell. I guess we're going to take Prison Realm, actually. Here, I think we just take the Caryatid to give us some ramp. We really just want to... we have a pretty high curve at this point, so we just want to make sure we hit our land drops, make sure we can get to our stuff early, so I think we're going to want to take all the ramp we can get here. Especially ramp that can make mana of any color, because we are going to be in 3 and or 4 colors. We could potentially still splash the red if we want to. I think that's better than Gilded Lotus, or like Insight or something. Yeah, we'll take the Caryatid. Once Upon a Time might be interesting. It's a good card. It's a lot better in Constructed, I think, than in Draft, but is there anything better to take here? Garenbrig doesn't really do a lot with our deck, especially in 3 colors. Maybe just Wilt. Wilt is actually probably pretty good main decked. Just an answer to any sort of problematic card type. And how many creatures do we actually have to hit with this? I guess Once Upon a Time. We'll take Once Upon a Time. It's probably good. It's probably pretty good. Okay, Riz the Redeemed, interesting, but we're not really a token deck, which is what Riz wants. We could take Birth of Meletus. Make sure we hit our land drops. Kind of slows down our opponents a bit. We might take that, actually. Spark Double was also kind of interesting. We can get... It makes it non-legendary, so we could have, like, 2 Teferis on the battlefield, which would be pretty crazy. Yeah, I think we actually just take the Birth, though. We want some early things. This kind of does both by giving us some early interaction in the form of a blocker and also gets us to our land drops. Nothing really stands out as super good for us. I guess we take the Pelt Collector. We probably won't play it. Take the Pelt Collector. And... okay, there's a good White Weenie card, but we are not in White Weenie. Okay, Wolf Willow Haven's actually pretty good. Blast Zones also would be nice to pick up, but I think we take the Wolf Willow Haven. There's more ramp, 2-mana ramp I was talking about, and this one's actually pretty hard to interact with because it's an enchantment that goes on a land. Our opponent has to have a pretty specific answer to that. Yeah, we don't want any of these. I would like to... the White Weenie deck looks real, and it was open this draft. There could be a pretty good White Weenie deck going on. Oh yeah, Beanstalk Giant is exactly what we wanted. Is that better than Transcending Law? Yeah, it is. Okay, Beanstalk Giant's great. Gives us more ramp. Makes our mana a lot better. I guess we take Thirst for Meaning here. Maybe run it. We do have some enchantments to toss away with it. Okay, we'll take Reclaimer. It's mana fixing. It eventually gets big. That's fine. Put Opt in the sideboard. I think we're splashing blue, so I don't think Opt is actually good in our deck. But we do have a pretty good amount of fixing here. I think we take Boon. Boon's just pretty good. There's really no cost to running it with cycling 1. And if we do get up to the 6 mana to draw 4 cards, that's really good. In our sort of mid-rangey deck we're doing here. Ooh, Thas is pretty interesting. We can tutor that with Captain Sisay. Bean Artisan's also pretty interesting, and it is a mono green card. Llanowar Elves, ooh. Probably have to take the Llanowar Elves. We just have so many good things at 3 mana. Anything we want to take more than Llanowar Elves. Fauna Shaman's pretty interesting, but we have some good non-creatures at the top of our curve, so it's not like I can always get what we want to get. How much do we have that actually works with Thalia? Not a ton. So I think I think we should take the Llanowar Elves. Ramps us to our 3 mana plays. Very good. Ooh, Klothys is very good. Wayward Swordtooth could be pretty interesting if we draw enough cards. Maybe Seal Away, though. Maybe we just take the Seal Away as an early removal spell, because that's probably where we'll struggle the most, is against like super aggressive decks like White Weenie or Mono Red. I don't think we really want the Teshar. Helm the Host is kind of interesting, too. But I think we... Karn is also interesting. Actually, I think we take Karn. Yeah, I think we're going to take Karn here. We want another good Planeswalker. Ooh. Well, maybe that was a mistake now that we have a Tezzeret. Making 1/1s, we get to draw a ton of cards, but we don't really have like the artifact thing going. Ooh, Vivian's also really good. Yeah, I kind of wish I took that removal now, because we could just take Vivian and be in pretty good shape here. I don't know what else we take. We could take Growth from the Ashes, but I don't know. We've got a good enough ramp already, I think. So I think we take the Vivian. We kind of regret not taking that. Okay, Vivian, calm down. Okay, Banishing Light's pretty good. Goreclaw would also be... nah, never. It's not that good, actually, in our deck. What's Spell Pierce? Starfield Mystic might also be interesting. We do have a good number of enchantments. Okay, we'll take the Banishing Light. So how much can we tutor with the Sisay now? That's one of the other reasons I picked Karn, is we can tutor that with Sisay, we can tutor Vivian with Sisay, we can tutor Teferi with Sisay, Questing Beast, anything else? I think that's it. Yeah, everything else is non-legendary, but that's basically a ton of finishers. Ooh, March of the Multitudes. Ooh, Settle the Wreckage. Settle the Wreckage is nice. We don't have a Wrath at the moment, and this is a Wrath, a 4-mana Wrath. We should be fast enough to stop, like, Mono Red. Is that better than everything else in this pack? Could take Crucible of the Worlds, too, which is good with Fable Passage. We could pick up, like, another, you know, some sort of, like, Field of Ruin or something. It'd be really good. I think we take the Settle the Wreckage. Give ourselves a Wrath. The Weatherlight. Top 5 cards of your library, you may feel a Historic card. That's interesting. I think we take Temple here just to make our mana really good. Could also take Mind Stone as some ramp. I think we take Temple. Take Temple. Oh, Uro is thebomb.com. Very good card. Ramps us, gains us some life back, eventually becomes this must-answer threat. Man, if we can wield this Hinterland Harbor, that would be amazing, because we're going to want some actual... okay, yeah, we're just going to take... Let's see. We've got 5 lands, so we actually have enough playables already. So I don't really feel pressured into like taking like a negate or something. I think we take Breeding Pool here. We're just gonna want all the fixing we can to make sure we can hit this Uro on time. Let's see, Giant Killer maybe could be good against certain decks. I don't know if probably don't have sideboarding, so yeah, nothing really stands out here. Maybe commence the end game. Put that in the sideboard. Maybe that's better. Yeah, we don't want the colorless land. We want our land to be consistent, for sure. Nothing really stands out here. I guess we take this. Maybe we want to side that in against some decks. Okay, a big Dream Eater might be worth it. Definitely not Reconnaissance Mission. We're not that deck. Okay, we'll take the Dream Eater. I don't know if we're gonna run it. It's pretty expensive, and we have just a lot of good game-ending threats already. Guess we take the 2-drop here. I was thinking we take the Legend to tutor it, but maybe the 2-drop's just better. Okay, we'll take the okay, we'll take the March. We'll take the Woodland Champion, I guess. Not gonna run it. And the Essence Scatter. Okay, so we could probably actually run a 4-color deck if we wanted to. I don't think we need to, though. Like, I was considering, we do have, like, a Rootbound Crag, and just putting in that Rootbound Crag and one mountain means with this Fable Passage, this Rootbound Crag, that mountain, the Ilzian Caryatid, and the Beanstalk Giant, we would pretty much have 5 free red sources, more or less, with the only real cost being the fact that we have a red, you know, 1 mountain in our deck. But is that worth... I don't really think we need the Escape to the Wilds. Like, if we really needed that card draw, we could probably just run Commence the Endgame. But we already have Boon of the Wishgiver. We don't want the Giant Growth, so let's get that out of here. We don't want... And I mean, we just have a good number of cards that get us great card advantage. Karn, Teferi, Captain Sisay can grind us out a bunch of advantage. Even Thirst for Meaning. We do have a lot of enchantments we can just throw away between Wolf Willow Haven, Birth of Melodius, Elspeth Conquers Death, and a lot of our removal spells are enchantments, so Thirst of Meaning actually seems pretty good in this deck. What do we want to go down? Maybe the Pelt Collector? That's more of an aggressive card, and I think we probably are okay as far as keeping ourselves alive between this Birth of Melodius. I guess we don't have a ton of low drops. This might be a deck we actually want to run 18 lands in, just because our curve is kind of high, and this Jadelight Ranger means the additional lands are actually probably pretty good. But we do have, I don't know, we do have some ramp. We do have Wolf Willow Haven and Llanowar Elves and Ilzian Caryatid, so if we run too many lands, there's a chance we can flood out. So maybe Untamed Kavu, we go up that. I think Pelt Collector's pretty bad defensively. Like, how many things do we actually have that can trigger this in a reasonable amount of time, this Pelt Collector? Like, really, we have, by bringing in this Untamed Kavu, we have 1. I guess it does get double triggered by Uro, which is pretty interesting. Uro would enter the battlefield, put a counter on it, then die and put another counter on it, but I don't think that's enough. We'll go down to Pelt Collector. It feels pretty weird, but I think Boon of the Wishgiver is just better than Commence the Endgame. Even though Commence the Endgame is a way we can actually, you know, put something on the board at an instant speed, you know, to block or whatever. I think just having the flexibility between being 1 mana versus 6 mana, I think just makes it better than the rare. I think we're actually going to go down to Kavu, and we're just going to run it like this. I think we have enough low drops. We just need to get to 3 mana, really. I think we should be able to consistently get there with this Birth of Melodius keeping us alive once upon a time, making sure we hit our 3rd land drop. So I think we're going to just go like this. And if we find that we're just getting run over too much, we do have some stuff we can bring in. We can bring in this Kavu, we can bring in this Woodland Champion. That's just a 2/2 for 2 if we need to. Or we can bring in this, you know, Essence Scatter to protect ourselves a bit. I think we're just going to go like this, though. Try to be more of a kind of control-y, mid-rangey deck. We do have Settle the Wreckage to deal with those aggressive decks. We do have the Wrath mode of Realmcloak Giant, the 5-mana destroy all non-giant creatures. So this is going to be our deck, and so Bant control / mid-range, and let's see how it... let me count the mana first, actually. Go up 1 more green source. Yeah. So that's what we'll do. Run 1 more forest, go down 1 island. We don't, because this thing has cycling 1, we don't super need a double blue. We only need it really for Dream Eater, which is pretty late in the game. So I think this should be fine. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 white or 8 white sources, plus all of our ramp spells I can grab it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue sources, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 green sources. That seems right to me. All right. So, this will be it. Will be our Bant control-y sort of mid-rangey deck. Let's hop into the games, and yeah, let's see how we do in our first ever cube draft. Okay, game 1 against GG No Re Scrub. Okay, and this is pretty much what we want. We got Ramp into Questing Beast on turn 3. Questing Beast is a card. Quite a card. We will keep this. Yeah, I'll just play Temple Garden tapped. Pass turn. Opponent's on red something. Red-white, okay. Maybe 3-color. Okay, we'll go Wolf Willow Haven on the Forest. I mean, depending on what our opponent does, we might even go with the Vivian. We may even go with the Vivian here if they don't put anything on the board that actually threatens it. Okay, they're just going to run out the Splinter Mare. Interesting. Yeah, we're just going to start Questing Beasting then. We can play the Vivian next turn and actually kill the Splinter Mare by taking her down, so if they don't play another threat, we can just clear their board. The Crowan War. Oh, jeez. That's pretty scary. Okay, so I can just get rid of the Crowan War here and get back my Questing Beast. I guess yeah, I'm gonna do that. Get rid of the Crowan War. Go to combat, attack. Play Breeding Pool untapped. Play Ilzian Caryatid, which will be able to tap her 2 mana next turn, so we can do a lot of stuff next turn. We might just want to leave up this Settle the Wreckage, though. Let's see. Elspeth Conquers Death. Ooh, okay. Oh man, it's going to go after the Banishing Light. Okay, we're probably just going to have to Settle the Wreckage next turn. I mean, assuming... Well, they're going to get to steal the Questing Beast. Yep, take it. Not good. Okay, white source is good. That means even if they kill our Caryatid here, we're going to have enough mana. I guess I can't actually do it this turn. So what I'm going to do is Elvish Rejuvenator. Get a Fable Passage. And pass turn, no attacks. They've got to attack, so that... Oh, God. Ugh. I forgot about the extra mana from Elspeth Conquers Death. We're just dead, aren't we? Ugh. Yeah, we're dead. Hey, okay, that was a punt on my part. I could have stayed alive by not playing the Elvish Rejuvenator there. I forgot the Elspeth Conquers Death adding the mana. Okay, well, that was a rough game 1. On to the next one. Alright, game 2 against Coiling Oracle, and I don't think we can keep this, unfortunately. Oh my gosh, really? Alright, down to 5. We will... go down to Uro, go down to Elspeth Conquers Death. Eesh. Jadelight Ranger hopefully can draw us a card or two to make this a little less painful, but we had to go down pretty low there. That's pretty rough. Okay, we do have a 1-drop, so that's something. This can fix our mana, so for 2 mana we can sacrifice a land and go get a land, put it on the battlefield tapped, so that's something. And eventually it becomes a actual body. Okay, Dorat. Might have to kill that eventually. Right now it's fine. Karn's pretty good. Okay, we will play Plains. And no attacks. Plan on probably just sacrificing a forest to go get a... Actually, sacrificing the Plains to go get an island. Because we do have this Sun Petal Grove to be another white source. We do need double green for our Jadelight Ranger. Sure. When it hits us... Riel. Okay. Might have to kill that. That's pretty dangerous. Go get a blue source. Oh, I forgot you can get any land with this. I guess we get a... Temple. Seems pretty good. Scry. Do we want another land? Nah, I think we can... Maybe we can pass on the land, try to get something better. Well, there's Fable Passage. So... Do I want to just kill the Riel? I think I need to. Kill the Riel. Put this at the bottom. And pass turn. Fable Passage is actually pretty good with this Elvish Reclaimer, so we can get 3 lands in our graveyard pretty quick to turn it into a 3/4. The Storat's kind of scary, though. Scorching Dragonfire. Alright, alright, alright. Tranquil Cove. Do you want to just run out the Karn? I think we'll Jadelight Ranger. Yeah, let's Jade-Light Ranger. Play Jade-Light Ranger. We're kind of far away from that. It would get rid of the Dorat. I think we have to put it in the graveyard, though, unfortunately. Okay. Keep the Elspeth Conqueror's Death. We can do that next turn. Gain some life. We can't hit the Dorat, but hopefully they'll play something else we can hit. If not, we can play Karn and start Karning away. I guess our opponent does know about the Elspeth, though, so they may just not play anything. Opponent gets in for 2. Sure. Alright, go to combat. Attack. Play Karn. Take up Karn, start drawing some cards. Oh, we're happy with either one of those, Vivian or Uro. Jeez Louise. With Vivian, we can actually kill the Dorat, potentially, with our Jade-Light Ranger. Although, if they blow us out, that would be really bad, so... Uro is just pretty good, though. Gives us some life back, ramps us. Alright, they give us the Vivian. Play Fable Passage. Pass turn. We're not going to crack this Fable Passage until we actually need to, because we have scryed a good bit. Scryed a couple cards at the bottom, so we'd rather not... Oh, okay. That's kind of scary. They do get the Riel back. Sure. Yes, they're going to be able to kill the Karn. But we did get to draw a card off of it, and we can potentially have this Elspeth Conqueror's Death eat their Riel, so it's not all lost. Then we can use the Prison Realm on like their Dorat, which can't get hit by Elspeth Conqueror's Death. Sure, opponent kills our Karn. Take 1. Dungeon Geists, okay. Sure, we will take... Oh. Do we just Realm Cloak Giant? I think we do. Alright, we're just going to Realm Cloak Giant here, clear the board. It's tempting to Elspeth Conqueror's Death, but let's just do this. Blow up the board. 1,000,000 for one our opponent. Pass a turn. And now I'm feeling pretty good. If they don't have a threat they can deploy, we can put this Vivian out with nothing to pressure it, which feels pretty good. And if they do have a threat to deploy, Elspeth can probably kill it if it's anything we need to worry about. So we kind of have all of our bases covered here. Sure. We will play the Vivian. Okay, opponent had the Sinister Sabotage. That's fine. That's fine. We got this Realm Cloak Giant to play next turn if we draw a land. Our opponent's got to do something eventually. Alright. Realm Cloak Giant time. Big ol' 7/7. Realm Cloak Giant's so good. Having a... We want Wraths in this deck for sure for exactly that reason. And having it attached to a threat that can actually finish the game is just so much value. Alright, and our opponent scoops it up. Okay, so we kind of punted away the first game a little bit. We probably were still going to lose it, but didn't play that last turn optimally. But in the second game, all the pieces came together and it worked pretty much just as we envisioned it. So sweet. On to the next one. Alright, next game against Cunning Chuck, and we will keep this. We do start kind of slow, being on the... Okay, Sphinx of Foresights. Fine. We do... Being on the play here is kind of painful with not having anything to do until turn 3, but once we get to turn 3, we definitely have a lot of powerful things to do. We do have removal in this hand, so we should be able to deal with anything too scary they play, and the fact they're playing Sphinx of Foresight probably means they're not on anything too aggressive. That's not really an aggressive card. More of a mid-rangey, maybe control card. Okay, Elvish Reclaimer, that's a pretty good draw. So we'll play the Reclaimer. Pass turn. Gives us something to do next turn as well. We can potentially sack this Plains to go get another forest. Okay, we're going to sack the island instead. Play an island, pass turn. Just plan on sacking this island to go get a forest so we can play this Jade-Light Ranger on turn 3. Opponent's on blue-red something. Right, go get a forest. Get a sun petal. Get a temple garden. Enters tapped. And then we will play Plains, Jade-Light Ranger. Put it in the graveyard. Don't need that. Put that in the graveyard too. And attack with Elvish Reclaimer. Pass turn. Next turn we can Sisay, and if they don't have an answer, we can just start... Sure, Sphinx isn't a big deal at all. Yeah, we'll just play Sisay here. Attack with Jade Light Ranger, and I mean, they gotta have an answer right away or we're gonna just take over this game with a Sisay. Alright, opponent takes 4. They get to Scry, sure. We probably do want to kill that Sphinx. Scry to the top, which I imagine means it has to be an answer to Sisay, because they cannot not answer this Sisay. It will absolutely win us this game. Sarkin the Masterless, wow, okay. Making a dragon, sure. Okay, so I think we just go... We can go get Teferi. We can also force them to trade their Sphinx for Jade Light. Okay, I think what we're not gonna go get Teferi this turn. We're gonna go get a Plains untapped. Banishing Light. Get rid of the dragon. Go to combat. Attack with Jade Light Ranger. They gotta trade the Sphinx if they don't want their Sarkin to die. We can start tutoring with this Sisay anyway. Okay, sure. So their board is more or less clear, and we're gonna be able to untap. The fact that what we wanted to do is get the threats they had off the board, because if we can untap with a mostly clear board and play a Teferi, we're just gonna win. Okay, opponent. Okay, they're playing some sort of blue-red, I guess, tempo deck. Emery, is there anything they can cast out of the graveyard with Emery? No. Bonder's Enclave, okay. Direfleet Daredevil. Is there anything in our graveyard? I guess they do get Boon of the Wishgiver, right? But they don't get to cast it, so... 6 mana. Probably just hit us in the face with Sarkin here, which is fine. Okay. Sure. Activate Sisay. Go and get... You can also get Questing Beast just to kill their Planeswalker. Yeah, actually, I think we're going to get Questing Beast. Questing Beast gets past both their creatures to kill the Planeswalker here. So we're going to do that. Questing Beast. Kill their Sarkin.
Listen to them roar.
And pass turn. We can Thirst for Meaning here. Use Sisay to go grab something first. So we have optimal choices to discard. Or we can even use Elvish Reclaimer if we feel like it, because I guess there's still 1 land away, so probably won't be using Elvish Reclaimer. But if we Thirst for Meaning and happen to draw like a couple lands and discard both of them, it turns on our Elvish Reclaimer, which is pretty good. See what our opponent tries to do. Helm of the Host. That's pretty scary, okay. Can't do anything with it yet, though. And if we destroy it, they can get it back. Oop. Ah. I wanted to... Okay, we do get to discard 2 lands, which turns on our Elvish Reclaimer. Captain Sisay. Go get a... Yeah, Teferi. But we're just gonna, even more than Teferi, we're just gonna go Elspeth Conquers Death, eat their Helm of the Host. Now it's gone forever. Attack with Questing Beast. Attack, do we want to attack with Elvish Reclaimer? Sure, we'll attack with both of these. Put the pressure on our opponent. Play Carry added, which gets to tap for 2 mana next turn. And pass turn. Get to tutor, and Sisay has pretty much won us this game. I mean... we're under absolutely no threat of losing here, unless our opponent has some, like, unbelievable bomb here off the top. Golos is not that. We almost first picked Golos, but we did not. This should be game. Activate Sisay. Go and grab... Arcbow Ranger's fine. Play... We want to play Arcbow Ranger? We can do both, can't we? Okay, Arcbow Ranger... Teferi. Have our Questing Beast kill the Golos, because it has Death Touch. Whatever, we'll just get rid of this Direfleet Daredevil too. We're just going to try to kill our opponent here. Go to combat. Opponent can't activate anything because this Elspeth Conqueror's Death has made their instant sorceries more expensive, so there's nothing they could do here. I mean, they can tap their Emery, We're going to make them sacrifice their Emery here. We kind of wanted to tutor with Sisay, but we would rather force them to block with their Emery here, because they could get back through Golos, which probably is fine, but why even give them the option, right? We've got more than enough threats to win at this point. So Electromancer, sure. Got us. Yeah, and this one's over. Enclave draws him a card, sure. Conqueror's Death, we'll get back Jade Light Ranger. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so there was our deck doing what it does again. Sweet. Our opponent, I don't really know what our opponent was doing. They were kind of in a red-blue deck, but it didn't really seem super focused. They might have just picked the good red and blue cards, just kind of had a red-blue good stuff deck, but it did not compete with our Bant good stuff deck at all. Really, the takeaway from this is Captain Sisay so ridiculously good if your opponent can't answer it. Just drew us like, not only drew us like 3 or 4 cards that game, but drew us 3 or 4 absolutely unbeatable bombs, like ridiculously strong cards that just completely stole the game for us. So, sweet. Alright, up against Hero L, and we'll keep this. Not the best hand ever, but we do have double white for the Settle the Wreckage. We do have Elvish Reclaimer to give us an early body on the battlefield if there's something aggressive. And we can just cycle away this boon if we need to. Okay. We'll try not to cycle away this boon, because this is a hand that benefits from being able to refuel, for sure. Rupture Spire, interesting. Yeah, we'll just go Plains. Pass a turn here. Plan on sacking probably the Plains with the Elvish Rejuvenator, or Reclaimer, and just getting a dual land. Stitcher Supplier, okay. Our opponent's on some sort of graveyard plan. Oh, Teshar. Interesting. But the Phyrexian, I guess Phyrexian Arena you probably just run in a lot of decks. Anything kind of mid-rangey. Just having an extra draw every turn's pretty good. Okay, they got a Witch's Oven, which is a pretty good combo with their Stitcher Supplier. Sure. So they're on some sort of black-white sacrifice deck, which is interesting. Here, I think we just go get a green-white land. We do still want double white for the Settle the Wreckage, so green-white, we'll go get a Temple Garden tapped. Well, once upon a time's a little late to the party. Do we want to get rid of the Witch's Oven? Nah, what we'll do here is just Jade Light Ranger. Try to set up our next few draws. Don't want the Rejuvenator. And we drew a Temple. Okay. Okay, we'll attack. If they want to chump and put their thing in the graveyard, sure. They have a way to kill their Stitcher Supplier whenever the hell they want to anyway with this Witch's Oven. Usually I wouldn't attack into the Supplier because this gives them a free block, but at this, I mean, they can kill it whenever they want, so they're going to be able to mill 3 whenever they feel like it, so no real reason not to try to get in that 1 damage there. So our opponent is on, at the very least, 3 colors. Esper something. I really don't know what our opponent's on. Something graveyard-based. The Teshar's interesting because it triggers with this Witch's Oven, which is kind of cool. Maybe some sort of graveyard artifact deck. Okay, I'm just going to pick it up and replay it, sure. That's fine. More artifacts in their graveyard. Okay, alright, I'm going to attack with Jade Light Ranger, see if they want to trade with the Shepherd of the Flock. They do, okay. Then I'm going to play a Plains, pass a turn. I'm going to Once Upon a Time and also activate Elvish Reclaimer. We want to get this up to Golden Egg, alright. Oh, I wonder if our opponent is on some sort of a Dance of the Manse. What's that black-white enchantment that makes you sacrifice a permanent? That'd be kind of interesting. Okay, we're going to sacrifice, I guess the forest. We'll get a blue-green land. Yeah, go get a breeding pool, tapped. Play Once Upon a Time. Take Sisay, I think. Questing Beast would be a pretty good threat. Sisay, the thing is, if they answer Sisay, we're going to take Sisay. Sisay just wins the game if they don't answer it, so going to take the Sisay. Sunpetal Grove. Play Llanowar Elves. Play Sisay. And pass turn. If they don't answer the Sisay, we just run away with the game, so opponent can sit there playing artifacts all they want. We do have a pretty good buffer here as well. If they do play that enchantment that makes us Doom Foretold is what it's called. Ooh. I'm really interested in our opponent's deck. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I'm super interested in it. Let's see if they have removal for Sisay. That would be the best thing for them here. And by the best thing, I mean they need it, or they're going to lose. Okay, they do. Okay, they kill our Sisay. That's fine. Let's see what they're building towards, though. This is definitely some sort of graveyard engine. Maybe they have, like, Command the Dread Horde? On Burial Rites. Okay. Oh, and Burial Rites can trigger... Or it can... Okay, we're gonna definitely just get this thing off the battlefield. Banishing Light. Kill the Teshar. I guess they get to sack it, so we don't actually get to exile it. But... Okay, no, they just let it go. I don't think that was right. We are going to just play the Fable Passage here, crack it, because we get to turn on this Reclaimer now by doing that. Go get a Forest. And attack with the boys. Start putting some pressure on our opponent. We can boon next turn to draw a million cards. That's nice. They're going to Burial Rite something else now. Gilded Lotus, okay. They got a land, they can still win Burial Rites. Getting Blackblade. We can't exile that with Settle the Wreckage, sure. Sure, they take it up.
Prepare for battle.
Can't quite kill it this turn, but Birth of Meletus. Okay, we're going to just take this chance while they're tapped out. First we're going to Temple, scry a bit. Prison Realm's pretty good, so we'll keep the Prison Realm, then go Boon, draw 4 cards. Not bad. And we'll just knock this Gideon down to 1. Pass turn.
I've fought worse.
So we can just attack this Gideon down if we need to, but we do have this Prison Realm as a backup if we're not able to. Okay. Burial Rites back the Mothra, sure.
I believe in you.
Indestructible. Okay. We do have an answer to that with Prison Realm, though. Oh, they get to bring it back. Whoa!
Charge into darkness.
That's a pretty cool combo. I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Will lend you my strength.
Neat. Huh. That was pretty cool. So we can't quite kill the Gideon here. Do you want to just settle the wreckage? We can settle the wreckage, get rid of both of them. I guess we go... What we do is questing... Oh, I guess we can kill the Gideon. We're going to go Forest, Questing Beast, Prison Realm, get rid of Mothra, and opponent scoops it up. Alright, alright, alright. So, wow. I really liked our opponent's deck, actually. Sacrificing the Gideon to give it flying with Mothra, that is a really cool combo. Huh, and our opponent had something going on. They were some kind of graveyard artifact value deck, I'm not sure. I mean, you can see what they were doing with Teshar, for example. Like, they put a bunch of low... Like, imagine just putting, like, a Skittering Surveyor in the graveyard, casting a Guild Globe, having Teshar out on the battlefield so you get to get the Skittering Surveyor back to your battlefield, go get a land, get just tons of value like that. That's pretty cool. We were able to just sort of basically outvalue them, though. Just put enough pressure on them and have better cards, basically. But it is a very cool thing they were doing. I'm really, really impressed by our opponent's deck. So, but anyway, on to the next one. We win. Okay, next game against Butts and Stuff. And we'll keep this. We've got this Elvish Reclaimer early, like, every game, and it's always been pretty good. I think we'll just play that. This might be a hand we actually cycle this boon. We have a lot of powerful ways to draw cards. We just want to hit our land drops and such. That's probably what we'll do. Probably just play this Tranquil Cove next turn and cycle this boon with the 1 mana we have. Opponent... Okay, opponent's on zombies, potentially. Didn't even know that was a deck in this cube, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think we'll just attack. And pass turn. Cycle this boon. Try to find something else to do before turn 4. Cycle. Well, that does get us to our Teferi next turn, so we'll just go Forest, Elvish Rejuvenator. Get the Forest. And next turn we can start Teferian. No attacks. I'll make a zombie. Discard a skeleton. Interesting. I wonder if our opponent's like on mono black or something. Okay, we will Teferi. Just start ticking up. Opponent might have removal for it. They might have like a, they might have a Murder Strider or something.
We need to move quickly.
Barely not. Okay. No attacks. We will untap and untap. Wow, okay. They choose to make a 1-1 instead of a 2-2. Pass turn. We do, I mean, this is a good combination, this hero and our Elvish Reclaimer to... Okay, they do have an answer to the Teferi. That's fine. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Probably gonna have to kill this Crypt Breaker before they start drawing like a million cards with it. Okay, we will sacrifice a forest. Go get a... I guess Temple of Enlightenment. Don't want another land. Okay, Llanowar Elves. I think we just go... We can go Karn here, but I think what we're going to do is, while we have the chance, we're going to get rid of this Crypt Breaker. So, Beanstalk Giant, go get a green source. Play Banishing Light. Get rid of the Crypt Breaker before they start drawing cards. And then, next turn we can play the Karn and start drawing a bunch of cards. Now that we've got the board kind of clear. Oh, Dread Presence is bad. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's really bad for us. We can play the Beanstalk Giant, but we gotta find a removal spell for that. No, we just take 3. Thirst for Meaning. So no Beanstalk Giant this turn. I think we go Birth of Meletus. Get a Plains. Play the Plains. Play the Llanowar Elves. Pass the turn, no attacks. Next turn we can Beanstalk Giant. Arguel's Bloodfast. That's pretty good with the life gain from Dread Presence. Yeah, because even if they just draw swamps here, that's good. They don't have to be drawing actual action. Yeah, there's the... Ooh! We gotta kill this Dread Presence. Yep, okay. We gotta Thirst for Meaning this turn. Try to find some removal for this Dread Presence. Yeah, take a good chunk. Thirst for Meaning. Well, Uro. We'll discard probably Karn actually and Caryatid. Still no removal for this Dread Presence. Do we have to just play Beanstalk Giant to give us a good blocker? Oh man, we don't actually have enough green sources to get back this Uro in the same turn we play it. I think we're gonna Uro though. Uro, get it in the graveyard, put Fable Passage. Okay, now we can actually get back to Uro too. That was a really good draw. Not only does Fable Passage get us the other green source we need to play our Uro, it also fills up our graveyard a bit more, so we can cast this Uro a little more easily. Just get rid of everything that's we can't get back with an Elspeth Conquers Death, because that's really the only thing we have that can get stuff back in the graveyard, I believe. Play Uro. Draw another card, gain 3 more life. Play Sunpetal Grove. God, Uro is such a stupid card. Yeah, we'll just attack with a Rejuvenator, that's fine. Pass turn, see if they've got an answer for the Uro. Ooh, okay, Ethereal Absolution's a pretty good card. Temple of Silence. Gain 2 life. I guess we just... Do we want to attack? If we attack, they can trade with this zombie and this reassembling skeleton, so I guess not. I guess we'll just go Beanstalk Giant. Temple Garden tapped. And no attacks. We do got a 10-10 now, which is pretty good against what our opponent's trying to do, but they can start making Flying Spirits is the problem. Alright, opponent dings us, sure. Yeah, kind of need a, even more than a Dread Presence, we need an answer to this Ethereal Absolution. It's just going to grind us out. Settle the Wreckage, okay. I think... Are we priced into just Captain Sisang here and hoping they don't have a swamp? The problem is they can just go draw a million cards till they find a swamp, but I think we I think we gotta do it. Place to say, and no attacks. We can settle the wreckage to get rid of a bunch of their tokens if that gets out of control, but they're probably just gonna kill our Sasei here, but that at least means they're not spending, if they have to spend like a bunch of mana on Arguel's Bloodfast to draw into a swamp. Oh, well that's brutal. Okay. Now they don't need a swamp to kill our Sasei. And we do have to just fire off to settle the wreckage, unfortunately, because they have this, it's going to make us discard it, basically. So yeah, we'll just get rid of a couple of flyers. We got to do it or we're just going to lose it, so. Opponent gets some lands. I guess they get to double, maybe we shouldn't have done that. They get to, okay, they're just going to ping us for a bunch, that's fine. I was going to say they could kill our Uro, but I guess we could just get our Uro back from the graveyard, so that's probably why they didn't want to do that. Okay, once upon a time. Okay. Come on now. Need something good. That is pretty good. Okay. The problem is, okay, if we do the Wrath, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can Wrath and Uro. Do we have enough green mana? Yes. Okay, we're going to go white, white, blue, blue, blue. I guess, hold on. What we're going to do, go to combat, attack and attack, draw a card first. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to trade a bunch of stuff. Okay. Hey, we don't need a Wrath. This is interesting. I think, okay, so our Realm Cloak Giants, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can kill all this with our Realm Cloak Giants, that's fine. And here we'll kill the Dread Presence. Okay, maybe we don't Wrath. Yeah, I think we just get back our Uro. We're going to hold on to this Wrath until they make a bunch of tokens, basically. So, Birth of MacLeod. I guess, do we want to get rid of the creatures now, actually? So that they can't start making tokens? I guess so. Let's just, uh-oh. Let's get rid of the creatures in our graveyard. Creature, creature, creature. That's it. Okay. All the creatures out of our graveyard. Draw a card. Jade Light Ranger. Try to find some answers to this Ethereal Absolution. Questing Beast. We want Questing Beast. I guess we don't want to put another creature in the graveyard, do we? So, put the Questing Beast on top. They can't make us discard the Realm Cloak Giant, thank God. Questing Beast isn't very great as a 3/3, but it is something. I guess we did put a creature in the graveyard with our Jade Light Ranger. I didn't think about that. We do have something to sacrifice to this priest, so it's not all bad news. Okay, bring back Skeleton, sure. Grey Merchant, that's a big chunk of life. Okay, alright. We have to sacrifice our wall. They get to bring back their, like, Woe Strider if they feel like it. Whoa, God. Demon Lord Bells Unlock. Well, we'll go Questing Beast. Attack with Questing Beast. We're unfortunately priced into Wrathing next turn, because our opponent is going to have this Demon Lord Bells Unlock hit us for 3, or hit us for, yeah, we'll pass this turn. So our opponent does get to basically hit us for 9 this turn. So we're gonna have to Wrath next turn, but we'll let them make some tokens first. So we get a, oh wait a minute, they're gonna be able to play this Bastion of Remembrance. I didn't even see that they hit that off of their Bells Unlock. That might just beat us actually. Oh, do we die exactly here? I guess we should have Wrath. Yeah, that's gonna kill us exactly. Here's 4 plus 7, that's 11. Oof. Yep, that's the game. Good game. Alright, they got us. Yeah, I didn't see, I should have paid more attention to what they hit off their Bells Unlock. They got us, so what they were going to do there is Wrath, or not Wrath, they're going to sack well, it got us down to 7. All I have to do is hit us with a Bells Unlocked there. So that one, I don't know if we could have won that anyway. That we just could not find a answer to that Ethereal Absolution. It was kind of running away with the game. Yeah, we kind of got beaten by Ethereal Absolution. Not only in the fact that it was able to make a bunch of tokens, which were problematic to us, but also in the fact that it just made our creature smaller, made a questing beast like much less significant, and made our Uro unable to attack their board quite as well. So, yeah, Ethereal Absolution is a real card for sure. It was ridiculously busted in its own draft environment. I think if you pretty much always, even if you were like in pack 3 and you open an Ethereal Absolution and you were in like blue-red, you still found a way to work Ethereal Absolution into your deck because it was just that good. So we got beaten by it again. It still seems pretty good in Cube as well, but we probably could have Wrath there and then played Questing Beast, and then we're still not in great shape, but we're in a little bit better shape. You know, they can still draw a bunch of cards and make a bunch of tokens with Ethereal Absolution, but we live one more turn, whereas we just died here because we didn't play around the Bastion of Remembrance. But opponent was on a kind of cool deck, kind of a black-white sacrifice kind of deck. Interesting stuff. And let's go on to the next one. Okay, up against Tom Scud, and we will keep this. We would really like to win a. Uh-oh. Okay, opponent's on an aggro deck, which is not the best thing for this hand to be against, but we would really like to go first one of these games. I think we've had pretty bad luck with the dice rolls this cube, so opponent appears to be on mono red. Let's see what they do. Rigging Runner, yeah, straight up mono red. Okay, Elvish Reclaimer's actually pretty good here. It can block the Ginger Brute, unless they have removal for it, that is. And then Prison Realm next turn, we'll be able to get rid of one of their threats. Okay, hits us for 2, sure. Realm Cloak Giant should be pretty good against their deck. Like, if we get to it, we should win. Rampaging Frostodon, that dies now. Oh, Settle the Wreckage too. But I think we kind of want to get to double white, so I'm kind of tempted to just take a turn to use this Elvish Reclaimer, but maybe we can do that next turn. So, Elspeth Conquers Death is good, but we're just looking for a white source here. No attacks. And if we don't draw a white source next turn, I think we are just going to take the turn off, sacking a land with Elvish Reclaimer, just so we can get to our white source to get to this Realm Cloak Giant on turn 5. And even if we don't draw a land, we can do the Settle the Wreckage at that point, so. Okay, interesting. They're on red-white, actually, not just mono-red. Okay, they're just going to make Ginger Brute unblockable, sure. Hits us for 3. Oh, white source. Okay. Play the white source and pass turn. And now we're good to go. We can just settle to get rid of the board here, and then we'll see what they do from there. But we can just settle to get rid of the board, and then even if they go, okay, the coast is clear, now I can. You know, they might be rigging the settle. They might say, oh god, double white, and they're leaving up mana. But even if they do, well, we can then go with Realm Cloak Giant. So, all right, unblockable, sure. We are going to just settle here. There's some temptation to wait, but I just want to not take. I don't want to go down to 10. 10's a pretty scary number. I don't know how much good burn is in this cube, but 13 should be pretty hard for us to ever get burnt out by anything. But 10's kind of in the danger zone. It doesn't take that many burn spells to get us from there, and it's not like we have the fastest clock ever. This also clears the way for Teferi. Okay, Fashino Pyromancer. See, we'd be going down to 8 if we hadn't done that. Banishing Light's pretty good, but we're just going to go Teferi. Just start ticking up with our Teferi. Wow, okay, opponent just kills our Teferi, sure. Or kills our Elvish Reclaimer, rather. Which is a little sad. It was going to be a nice little combo with Teferi, but not the end of the world. We can get rid of the Fashino Pyromancer next turn, so probably just run out Elvish Reclaimer to block it. They're kind of forced to attack. Okay, they're just going to attack us. They're going to say, we don't care about your card advantage. I'm just going to try to kill you. Oh, Birth of Meletus is so ridiculously good. So first we will tick up with Teferi. Good God, Birth of Meletus is good. Fabled Passage, okay. Play Fabled Passage. Crack it. We're about to search with Birth of Meletus anyway, so I'm going to have to shuffle our deck anyway. I don't even remember if we've scryed any this game, but go get a Forest. Play Birth of Meletus. Go get a Plains. Play Rejuvenator, which we can use to block the Pyromancer. Go get an island's fine. And we're in the money now. Now we got everything we could ever want against this deck. And we even get to Thirst for Meaning. So, untap our lands. So we got removal spell if we just want to go after anything in particular, or we got a Wrath, we want to go after everything in particular, and we got Birth of Meletus to gain us some life back, put a good blocker on the board. Teferi is going to eventually win us the game. Weaponize the monsters, okay. A little bit scary. That's a lot of burn, potentially. Alright, we will Thirst for Meaning. I'm going to discard the... We're actually going to discard the Once Upon a Time and the Plains. Vivian Arcbow Ranger's not bad. Draw a card.
Let's skip to the good part.
Put a clock on our opponent. Go to combat. Attack and attack. Wow, I'm just going to trade. Okay, they're just going to try to burn us out from here, which isn't impossible. We do get to gain 2 life from this Birth of Meletus. We'll just play... Do we want to get rid of this? We're going to get rid of Weaponize the Monsters. That's probably the best way they have to burn us out here. So we'll just get rid of it. Temple Garden tapped. Tap and untap. And then we just gotta kill them before they burn us out. We're at 7. We're about to go up to 9, though. Grim Initiate doesn't do anything. Oh, God. Okay, we're down to 3. Up to 5 again, thanks to Birth of Meletus. But I think that's the only way we have to gain life in this deck. So we're gonna have to... Okay. Whew. Opponent scoops it up. I guess that... They probably... I don't know. I don't know if they should have scooped it up there. If they could top deck, like, another 3 mana burn spell and then, like, a shock, they could burn us out. And we don't have any other ways to gain life, so good old Teferi. It felt pretty weird to be on the other side of Teferi. Even when Teferi was in Standard, I didn't play Teferi decks really. I played more budget decks usually, so gosh, Teferi is ridiculously powerful. But yeah, we were just kind of going off. We definitely were the control deck there, as opposed to our opponent playing the aggro. So I think we made the right choice by exiling when we did, by hitting the Rigging Runner and the Ginger Brute with our Settle the Wreckage instead of waiting for more. Because we did get, you saw how low we got there. We got down to 3. If they still had that Weaponize the Monsters with this Grim Initiate on the board, that's 4 damage right there. They sacrifice the Grim Initiate, hit us for 2. Sacrifice the Grim Initiate, hit us for 2. Doesn't take much to go from there. So if we just had a little more damage on us, we could have been in a really dangerous place. But we played it right, and Teferi won us the game. So sweet, on to the next one. All right, next game against Whatever, and we'll keep this. Definitely good, especially if it's an aggressive deck. We have Birth of Meletus to stabilize, and Llanowar Elves to get us to an early Vivian Arcbow Ranger isn't bad. If it's not a creature-based deck, if they... You know, Vivian is good against creatures, Birth of Meletus is good against creatures, but if it's neither of those, if it's like some kind of control deck, we're not in very good shape, but let's cross our fingers, hope it's not. Oh god. I don't think there's a more control indicator land than Temple of Deceit. I mean, I guess it is cube, so maybe they just picked it because they needed it, but... Jeez. Okay, we are gonna... I guess we could set the Vivian next turn anyway, but... Yeah, we're gonna Wolf Willow Haven on the forest. No, like... this. Attack with Llanowar Elves. This way we can actually... Brain Maggot. Oh, that's not good. Gonna get our Vivian out of our hand. Not great. We do have some removal, though, so eventually we can get this Brain Maggot off the battlefield. Okay, we will... Guess we just Elvish Rejuvenator. Clear out our deck as much as we can. Breeding Pool, tapped. Play Sun Petal Grove, Birth of Meletus. We're just digging lands out of our deck, essentially. We are kind of flooded here, but we're not under much pressure. And if we can play anything we draw on our deck now. Okay, we're just going to draw some cards, sure. Oh, Dream Eater, not bad. So we will, yeah, we'll Plains, go to combat, attack. Pass a turn. We'll Dream Eater on our opponent's end step, bounce the Brain Maggot, get back the Vivian, play that. Fibblethip, sure. Good old Fibblethip. I like this card. Alright, Dream Eater. Let's go. You got a 2-mana counter spell? They do not. Alright, bounce the Brain Maggot. Get back our Vivian. Go to town. Graveyard. Graveyard. I guess we'll go like that. That's fine. We'll probably just cast the Realm Cloak Giant as a creature, I guess. Bounce the Brain Maggot. Okay. Opponent kills the flyer. That's fine. Bounce the Brain Maggot. Get back our Vivian. Play Vivian.
I love everything from deer to dinosaurs.
Tick up on our Llanowar Elves and our Elvish Rejuvenator. Get in. Hit our opponent for 4. I mean, our opponent can replay the Realm Cloak, or replay the Brain Maggot to hit our Realm Cloak, but that's okay. If we can play this Beanstalk Giant and give it Trample with Vivian, we'll be really happy about that. And I mean, if we can't, okay, they're gonna Elspeth Nightmare to kill our Llanowar Elves. That's a little painful. Cast the Brain Maggot. Take our Realm Cloak Giant. Sure. Okay, can we do both halves of Beanstalk Giant? So we go 1, 2, 3, up 1 mana. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we can't do both halves. So I think we just cast the Beanstalk Giant. And we will tick up. Or actually, do we want to just kill the Brain Maggot? You know what, we're going to just kill the Brain Maggot. So have the Beanstalk Giant kill the Brain Maggot. Get back our Realm Cloak Giant, attack. And now we can start putting counters on the Beanstalk Giant to give it trample. Opponent can't make us discard this Realm Cloak Giant because it is technically a creature, even though it does have a sorcery half of it. It counts as a creature in anywhere besides the stack, so let's see what they got. Hypnotic Spectre. Good card, not good here, I don't think. Oh, settle the wreckage. Alright, we will pump and pump. Give them all trample. Get in. And they gotta, I guess, double block the Elvish Rejuvenator. I don't know. They're not in good shape here. Okay, our opponent scoops it up. Yeah, they were in really bad shape. Trample is that's what makes Vivian really good. I mean, putting counters on a creature every turn is fine, but the ability to give them trample is just, it means this Beanstalk Giant can't be chumped. They're just taking a billion damage a turn. So they got us with a Brain Maggot early, but we did draw enough. The Stream Eater, I think, is really what won it. Is the interaction with the Stream Eater, being able to bounce the Brain Maggot, being able to set up the rest of our draws, so we had a bunch of kind of haymakers in a row instead of drawing into land. So opponent was on sort of a traditional sort of blue-black control deck, I think, but we just had too much value, I think. We just sort of outpaced their 1-for-1s, so sweet. Here we go, on to the next one. Alright, up against Sheridan in our cube match here with our... I guess we keep this. We do have a lot of scry between this Temple of Enlightenment and this Prison Realm. Still don't get to go first, which is a shame. But once we get to 4 mana, Sparring Construct. Okay, our opponent must be... I have no idea what our opponent's... I'm guessing they're on White Weenie. We want to keep the... Well, I think we were looking for a green source here. I guess they're on White Weenie. Either some White Weenie or some Artifact aggro deck. Either way, this Prison Realm should be good. This is a cool art sleeve. I hadn't seen this before. Stonecoil Servant. Okay, so they're on some sort of Artifact aggro deck, I suppose. Okay, Forest and pass turn. We are taking a chunk of damage here. Maybe they got... What's that enchantment that gives artifacts +2/+2? Ooh, and Ruin Raider. I guess we gotta hit that instead of Stonecoil. Yeah. Okay, we will Prison Realm, hit the Ruin Raider to cut off the card draw. Settle is good. We will keep the Settle. So we got Wraths for days here. Okay, Kite Sail gets to take our Banishing Light, I imagine. They could take the Elspeth Conqueror's Death, but truthfully, they probably want to take the Banishing Light. But they don't know about this Settle the Wreckage coming up, so that'll be nice. Maybe they'll just take their turn here, playing out the Loxodon, and then we can get them really good with the Settle the Wreckage next turn. Yeah, they're gonna think the coast is clear here. They're gonna say, okay, I got the whatever out of their hand, the Banishing Light. I'm gonna swing in, but then Settle the Wreckage should be pretty good. Opponent's thinking long and hard. They can't take the Realm Cloak Giant, so the Realm Cloak Giant being a creature has been pretty relevant. Most of these discard effects are kind of duresses that can't go after creatures. So, wow, they take the Karn. Interesting. I guess they just figure they can outpace the Banishing Light and the Elspeth Conquers Death. Opponent gets in. That's a little painful. They might not settle here is the problem. They might Locks it on. Then we're going to Banishing Light. We're going to Banishing Light. Get rid of Stone Coil. We'll leave the Karn for now. We just want to get the stuff off the battlefield, I think. And this way, even if Banishing Light gets removed, if it got removed at some point and they got their freebooter back, they could take something else good out of our hand, such as the Settle the Wreckage. So I think we would rather just Knight Up Malice. Alright. Wow, okay, they're just not gonna Venerator Locks it on. Interesting. Okay, I think we do. The turn we take off to Settle the Wreckage is the turn they're going to do nothing. Jeez, what do we do? We're taking a lot of damage here. Okay, we're just gonna pass turn. They're gonna pass turn. They don't know that they know we have Captain's to Say in our hands. Ugh. So they're gonna see this coming, probably, to Settle the Wreckage. What they'll probably do here is play out a couple creatures and just play out the Loxodon, pump everything, and we're gonna basically skip our turn. But okay. Yeah, we are gonna Settle the Wreckage here. That's fine. Get rid of this. Get back our Karn, which is pretty nice. With our Karn, we can basically brute force draw into our 5th land. And once we hit our 5th land and we're up to these Elspeth Conquers Death / Wraths, we should be in pretty good shape. Wow, and he just runs out the Loxodon on just the Sparring Construct. Okay, and now we're in the money. Okay, Elspeth Conquers Death, get rid of the Loxodon, and now we're good to go. Benelish Marshal, sure. We're just going to Wrath here, and a Thalia. Okay, Thalia is actually scary. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Thalia... Huh. Does Thalia just beat us? I think we're gonna Elvish Reclaimer plus Captain's to Say. And Elspeth Conquers Death can bring one of these back. We're just gonna... Man, yeah, we gotta draw a land here. Opponent cycles. That was pretty good. They played pretty expertly around this Realm Cloak Giant. Opponent, that was pretty good. Okay, and we will block and block, I guess. Take 6. We die to a pump effect. No, we're gonna block and block like this. Yeah. Hope we draw a land this turn. If we draw a land, I'm pretty sure we just win. Elspeth Conquers Death. Okay, land. Whew. Okay, it'll bring back... Doesn't really matter because it's going to die anyway, so we'll just bring back the Reclaimer. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. But, then we Fable Passage, go and get a whatever, doesn't matter, green source, I guess. Blow up the board. Woo! Hopefully our opponent doesn't have anything that saves a creature. Oh god, did they have something? Okay. Dear god, that scared the Jesus out of me. We are pretty low though, we're at 5 life, so we're gonna have to... Knight of Grace, okay. And a Law Rune Enforcer. Elvish Rejuvenator, can we do 2 things? We can Wolfwillow Haven plus Karn. I think that's what we do. Wolfwillow Haven on a forest. Karn. Minus Karn. Make a 1/1.
There is great power.
Just to chump with. Yeah, Thalia gave our opponent a fighting chance here, for sure. We were in pretty great shape, but Thalia putting our Wrath back a couple turns definitely messed us up. We're in sketchy territory now. All it takes is like a couple removal spells off the top for them to take us down here with this Law Rune Enforcer. Alright. We will jump. Tick up the... No, we're going to actually make another construct, I think. Play Realm Cloak Giant. Opponent can tap it down with Law Rune Enforcer. Which they do. See... Oh, wow. They have the combo. Damn, okay. Jeez. Huh. Huh. Interesting. Do we want to keep our Karn alive? Do we want to... I guess we die to Oath of Kaya if we don't block the Knight of Grace. I don't even know if Oath of Kaya is in the cube. Jeez Louise. I think we have to save the Karn here. That leaves us pretty dead to this Law Rune Enforcer. Knight of Grace. Okay, let the Karn die. Yeah, we're just barely holding on here. We are not in good shape. The problem there is if we take the 2 damage from Knight of Grace, say we play this Elvish Rejuvenator. Okay. Elvish... No, 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 no. Oh my god. Man, I think we lose because of that. Wow, the auto-tapper tapped the Wood Willow Haven. Why would it do that? We lose because the auto-tapper. That's really painful. I saw it happening and I couldn't stop it. Jeez, man. I guess Caryatid. Jeez, that's really painful. We should have a Vivian on the battlefield right now. That's really painful. Yeah. Yeah, we are just gonna chump with a Rejuvenator. Ugh, it auto-tapped the Wood Willow Haven, so we didn't have enough green for Vivian. Eey. Mortify gets back the Ruin Raider. Not good for us. That means I get to start drawing cards. If we draw a threat we can play with this Vivian, we can make it fight the Ruin Raider. Let's see what they... Oh, okay. I think we're... Are we just dead? Yeah, we're just dead. Because they can just tap down 2 creatures with this Ardenvale Tactician and they got us. Oof. Okay, so we lost that one. Partly to the auto-tapper, which is really painful. Oof. And I think that's going to be the end of our cube run, I believe. Let me see. I'm not exactly sure how the cube works. Okay, yeah, so we have 3 losses. We did end up winning 5 times, so we almost made it to the end. That's pretty good for the first cube run. It did pretty much work how I expected. When we were up against more aggressive decks, we struggled a bit. They were just able to keep the pressure on us and before we were able to deploy our threats. But up against any sort of mid-rangey decks, any sort of more controlly decks, we just had so much value. And even against aggressive decks, we could Wrath. Usually we were okay. That last deck we went against really messed us up with a Thalia. So Thalia looked pretty impressive in that last game. We would have, I think, absolutely won that last game without the Thalia. And our opponent, I think, did just play pretty brilliantly with that Thalia to wait until we basically were in a position where they knew we had to Wrath, then play the Thalia, and basically just say, if you don't draw lands, you die, you know? And so if our opponent didn't have a Thalia and if they didn't play it right, I think we would have won that game. But our opponent did, and they had a pretty sick deck, kind of a black-white sort of aggro-y, sacrificey deck. But all in all, our deck did seem to be pretty well. We did have a winning record. We did get to 5 wins, which is pretty good, I think. 5 wins is pretty good, and I think it's a sign that we had a pretty good deck. So even though we didn't really know the format going in, even though we were kind of just evaluating cards on the fly, we did put together a pretty well-performing deck. And we did definitely get some winnings here, so let's open them up and see what we got. So 4,000, I actually don't know how much it costs to join this, because I think the first one is free, so just a heads up. And okay, we got Gilded Lotus and we got Forerunner of the Empire, both interesting cards. We got some gems too, which I guess means we got a rare we already had. So these are historic cards, so if you're interested in historic, I guess that's the prizes that come out of this pool. And we got 4,000 coins, and it cost 4,000 to enter, so we got, yeah, so we were able to basically have a free draft there, so that's pretty cool. You basically get to draft for free, so that's pretty sweet. And we also got some rares, got some gems out of the deal. So anyway, Cube is a ton of fun, so if you haven't played Cube yet, I would definitely recommend it. Arena Cube is a little bit different than kind of normal Cube, where you have kind of cards throughout the history. This is obviously just cards that are on Arena, but they do have historic cards. They do have, like, cards that aren't in Standard anymore, so it isn't just Cube and Standard, which I think would be pretty boring. It is actually a pretty interesting format, so if you're interested, I'd recommend giving it a shot. Like I said, I think the first one is free for everybody. At least I had a free one. I assume that's the case for everybody else as well. So if you're interested, I would definitely recommend giving it a shot. And anyway, this has been 2D. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I sure enjoyed playing. Cube is one of my favorite ways to play Magic, so I'll see you next time.